How can 190 members of Congress be wrong on this? That's how many who are opposing it. Even some Republicans are opposing this. But, of course, Republicans, they're afraid of me. They don't want to talk to me. But whatever. I'll talk to them if they want to talk about it. Because this is bad for workers.
All right, there he is. Big Ed, as we like to call him. Big Ed Schultz, saying Republicans are afraid to talk to him. Joining us now is Ann Coulter, columnist, best-selling author of Never Trust a Liberal Over Three, especially a Republican. That's her brand new one. Bestseller, of course. Hello, Ann.
Hello, Steve.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. I would like to point out that we had booked this interview long before I saw a tweet at 3 a.m. last night quoting Ed Schultz saying no Republicans are afraid to debate him.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I'm putting up on the screen right now, Ann, your tweet back to him. It's have me on your show, you lying. It starts with it's kind of like wuss, but it's different.
There's nothing obscene about that. It's a homonym.
Well, I was told I can't say it. I wasn't told.
I'm not writing for Screw Magazine or referring to a female's body part. There is nothing obscene about that. It's known as a homonym. The words sound similar, but they mean different things.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So that was how you wrote it. So let me ask you this. Has he responded?
I don't know. I've rarely been online, but I'm like I say, I just happened to see it at 3 a.m. last night, and it is enraging. It's bad enough that liberals are pansies, I will say, for your benefit, for the benefit of people who do not grasp homonyms. Fluke can be both a fish or, just an odd happening. What an oddity. In any event, there is apparently a lot of attention to it on the internet, but what's enraging about this is I don't care if they're pansies. There's just something in the liberal genetic code that they have to go around boasting about how brave they are. A few weeks ago, it was a couple months ago that Alex Wagner was on Real Time with Bill Maher. I didn't even see this at the time. Somebody had to send it to me. Saying, this is one of my favorite things when they say liberal things before a liberal audience, which Bill Maher's real-time audience is, and she said, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I think all guns should be banned. And then, Steve Malzberg, you're not going to believe what happened. Despite the fact that she thought she was saying something incredibly brave and, taking it to the man, she got a standing ovation.
No. Let me let you hear. By the way, brave Ed Schultz. This goes back. I'm on Fox and Friends right before the 2008 election. And Schultz is in.
Probably the last time you were on.
Yes. But how'd you know that?
But they will not put on conservatives who can put two sentences together. It's always, no, don't call Steve Malzberg, don't call Ann Coulter. Hey, can anybody get Todd Harris on the line?
But I want you to hear this.
There's Meghan McCain. She'll be our conservative.
I want you to hear this, though, because brave Ed Schultz, and this was before he was on MSNBC, of course, he's in North Dakota, and I'm on set with the crew, and we're talking about McCain, and he's talking about Obama's economic plan, blah, 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 and he owns a business. So I asked him how much money his business made because I wanted to know if it was a small business or a big business. Right. So he took exception. Let's listen to whatever the other cut I told you, cut 44. Here we go.
Do you make more than 250, Ed? Does it make more than 250? Ed, does it make more?
Steve, I didn't interrupt you, Steve.
I'm just asking a pertinent question.
This happens every time I go on the air with you.
Oh,
you
stop
always
complaining.
torpedo everybody.
But Ed, just to the point, are they right to attack him? Are they right to attack him?
He now is.
Would he leave?
He's gone.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
He's gone. He pulled off his earpiece. He disappeared from the camera, and he was gone. So when they do talk to him, he runs away.
That's fantastic. I didn't know about that one. But, I mean, just any casual viewer of MSNBC can see it's a totally closed set, which is why they get crazier and crazier in their conspiracy theories and zealotry. In one of my big books, Demonic, I have a chapter on liberal conspiracy theories. They are the main proponents of them. And I had a page on Rachel Maddow's conspiracy theories alone, from the census worker who was allegedly murdered, the bridge that collapsed in Minnesota that was blamed on Republican cuts to the government. Turned out it was I guess I should say what the truth was in each of these cases. The census worker was committing insurance fraud and had committed suicide after a long investigation determined that. But night after night, Rachel Maddow was introducing her story, a story you will hear no place else. Yes, Rachel, there's reason for that. The bridge, after a long major federal investigation, turns out it was a design flaw in the bridge by, a contractor hired by, the government. There was the pro-gun rally that was held, as Rachel said, on the anniversary of Timothy McVeigh's bombing of Oklahoma City. There was no one at MSNBC to tell Rachel, it's also the anniversary of Lexington and Concord.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. So I won't give you any more examples, but there's no one at MSNBC to say, you people are out of your mind, because the only conservatives they invite on are, like I say, Todd Harris, Meghan McCain.
Well, you were referring to Fox and Friends then again, too. But so they don't call you to come on at all on MSNBC.
I'm dying to, and I've had people who know people, get the word through.
All right, so Ann, let's figure that. Then it has to be, there has to be some credence to the fact that Rachel Maddow, there was a report in the National Review that she's calling the shots there, and Phil Griffin just punches his clock in and out of work, because why wouldn't they put you on? I mean, don't they think they could tear you apart? Wouldn't it boost their ratings? Wouldn't they make a spectacle of it? So why wouldn't they want you on unless, Rachel Maddow is running the show and she's so ideological opposed to it, and that she wouldn't hear of it. I mean, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't think it makes sense for Rachel Maddow. I think we'd have a lovely little interview.
Yeah, you probably would. We're talking to Ann Coulter here. I like that description. Her latest book, of course, Never Trust a Liberal Over Three, especially a Republican. All right, so look, they could really go after you after you were the person who once loved Chris Christie. So did I at one point, but I became disenchanted very quickly. And by the way, I now, as a resident of New Jersey, have shown how big-hearted I am, and I'm now paying for discounted tuition so illegals could go to colleges in New Jersey because Chris Christie found the money. See, he said he was never against it, just that we didn't have the money. So the implication is now we have the money. So how about lowering my taxes? We're the most taxed state in the country. No, he's giving it to illegals.
It's shocking, and that is, of course, why I turned against him. His sucking up to, Chuck Schumer, because the Democrats need 30 million voters, and the soulless rich in America who need cheap labor. But, it's not like he's the first politician who figured out, I can get Wall Street and Silicon Valley to give me lots of money, and, the media will love me, and they won't call me a nativist if I'm just totally pro cheap labor for the rich. There was Senator Spence Abraham, defeated after one term. There was John McCain, who desperately backpedaled and still lost election for president. There was Marco Rubio, who is pretty much dead in the water for his reelection in Florida. Let's see, who else has tried this brilliant scheme? Well, Rick Perry and Huckleberry and Huntsman. Also, big success stories in the Republican Party. How many times do these Republicans have to try pushing amnesty and in-state tuition and driver's licenses? Then suddenly they discover, oops, the dogs don't like it. They try to backpedal, but no one trusts them anymore anyway because it is just such a god-awful idea. We're a country. We're not a department store. We have to have some control over who comes into this country. And, I was thinking the other day, it really is a dirty trick the Democrats have pulled because the vast majority of illegal immigrants are Hispanics, mostly Mexican. And, you have to love them. They're such hard workers, and it's out of no animosity toward them. But the country has not voted to turn itself into Mexico. I love Mexicans. I love Mexican food. I don't want this country to be Japan or Sweden either. What's the matter with America as it is?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. And who was it who just said to me the other day, when did it become a dirty word for or a dirty thing to say that we need to take care of Americans first before we, let other people in and give the high-skilled workers, low-skilled workers. We don't have jobs for any workers, and you're going to bring more people in to take whatever jobs you think are out there. What's the rationale behind that?
And to pay them less.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it. All right, let me ask you about this. If Hollywood, imagine if the people who picked the Academy Awards were conservatives and they left Oprah out. Could you imagine what we'd be? Oh, here's a good one. Michelle Obama's 50th birthday. You know, I read a line today from when Laura Bush turned 60. Good Morning America gave it, and happy birthday to Laura Bush. She's celebrating her 60th birthday. You would think that we have the Queen of England in the White House, and she's turning, 90. I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, I was just reading, what was that? I was reading a book about the old fellow travelers. I mean, not the whole book. I was just flipping through it the other day. Who was it? It was somebody McLeish. But anyway, he was, a commie. Loved FDR. And it was one of these quotes that you just never see about Republican presidents, and you always see about Democratic presidents, how he idolized him. He was devoted to him. He thought he was like a demigod. And this is all described in my book, Demonic. This is the behavior of a mob. From Demonic, I cited both with Clinton, and of course JFK and Obama, these liberal women, openly writing about how they're fantasizing about having sex with Obama. We loved Ronald Reagan. We don't fantasize about having sex with him.
And to boot, and Michelle, of course, back in 2008, there was a big story in the New Yorker, 18-page cover story, not the one with that fist bump cover, but nonetheless, Obama begins with a broad assessment of life in America in 2008. This is when she was campaigning. We're a divided country. We're a country that's just downright mean. We're guided by fear. We're a nation of complacents and cynics. But hey, we're going to give her the birthday gala of the century. It's just insane.
No, it really just shows you how liberals, in addition to all the trouble they cause, they're just infantile in their political impulses. It's all about fashion.
Now, let me ask you one final question. The professor from Gilligan's Island, he passed away today at the age of 89. I think all that's left, seriously, is Ginger and Marianne. And, there's that famous question guys ask each other, Ginger or Marianne. I said, in my younger days, I said right away Ginger, but now I kind of lean towards Marianne. I don't know what that says about me, but what about you? I mean, do women don't do like, the professor or...
Gilligan the professor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think it's pretty clear who's going to win that one.
Oh, boy. Anyway, and always great to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Great to talk to you, Steve. Bye-bye.
Take care. That's Ann Coulter, ladies and gentlemen. And her latest book, she kept calling about demonic, but her latest book is Never Trust a Liberal Over 3, especially a Republican. When we come back, Eric Holder is at it again, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll talk to our friend, Congressman Peter King, chairman of the House Homeland. He's not chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, but we'll find out exactly what he is chairman of subcommittee. He's the former chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. Anyway, he has things to say about this, and we'll bring them to you right here as we wind down the Thursday edition of the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax TV, as if you didn't know, and radio.